what I just start with here, and I'll kind of pull up just to give you an idea of my little agenda in terms of what we normally go through. I try and hit several things in the meeting, Vital. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of just go welcome and overview, give you a little bit more background on us, want to, again, understand you a little bit better. We'll talk a little bit about the agency, the structure, the commission, some of the things we'd already gone over, but I really just like to reinforce it so people understand how everything works. We talk a little bit about our core values, and we kind of have this commitment to excellence sheet that we go through. We'll tell you a little bit about that. Then I'm going to go into some SMART goal planning, and I'm going to do a deep dive in that. So really help you with goals. And what I'm always big on is I'm well aware, this is something you're doing in coordination with your other business. If any of this helps you in your main legal business, that's awesome. So feel free to apply any of the concepts. We'll then go through and really spend, depending on time, probably about 45 minutes of the meeting and talk about marketing. So I really spend quite a bit of time on marketing with you, and we're going to do a deep dive on that, kind of talk about your ideal client, what your ideal client looks like, how to find them. And then we're going to go through specific marketing ideas to hopefully help you get business and generate business. Cool. And again, my goal is to accomplish all that in about an hour to an hour and a half. So does that sound good? Okay. Like a good goal? Okay, cool. So awesome, man. Well, one of the first things, and again, I've got to add it into the slideshow, but just a little bit in terms of us, I started this business 14 years ago. I started scratch. I'm a business owner too. I know what that's like. I have so much respect for business people that are willing to give that a go. I'm married, 3 kids. So I joke I got a lot of motivation to work hard for a long time and help guys like you come on board and be successful. So my heart, and really what I talk a lot here, Vital, is I kind of call it our 3M focus. And that's what we just kind of put here. And my goal, my prayer for you is that you're able to make an impact, and that's make an impact with your clients and helping them with insurance. You're able to make really good money, whether that's part-time or full-time, depending on how much you want to, how much you want to put into it and how much interest there is, or how much, leads you have from your clients, and then have fun and make fun. And, so we try and do a lot of fun things. We're actually rolling out a sales contest for the summer. You're going to have access and info on that. Would love to be able to help you, see that you win a sales contest. We're going to be doing some incentive travel trips for next year. Once things open back up with kind of all this COVID stuff, we're going to definitely be doing some more in-person stuff. And in the meantime, we try and do a lot of training that we can remote. So we do these Zoom calls on Mondays. We've got a closed Facebook group. Brianna will reach out to you on that to make sure to get you plugged in. Are you on Facebook at all?
Yes, I am. Yeah, Brianna just sent me.
Perfect. Yeah, I'd asked her to reach out. So we'll get you plugged into that. We want to make sure that we can do all we can to make you feel welcome and get the info and resources you can to plug in. So I'm going to pull up here just this little PowerPoint that I've got. And really, I always just like to start is congratulations on starting. Most people, so many people I find in life, Vital, they don't just try. They don't step out and try. And obviously, again, you're a small business guy. You've certainly been somebody to step out in faith. But, I give you a lot of credit getting your insurance license and really coming on board. We talked about some of these things. Well, actually, I don't know that we went through all these things. We had a phone call the other week, but this is something I really like to just put in your mind. And you already probably get this at some level being a small business guy, but I really want to just kind of embrace that for a minute. And here's what I find, that most people want 5 things from their work life. I don't care what we're talking about, Vital. I don't care if you're whatever your position is. I really believe that people want these 5 things at their core. Number 1 is to have freedom and flexibility in their work-life balance. They want that time freedom. Number 2 is to be able to build financial independence for themselves and their families. Number 3, work in a business that really makes an impact on the lives of others. Number 4, be a part of a winning team. And number 5, build passive income. So would you agree that most people want those 5 things from their work life?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Awesome. And again, you're a small business owner. You make a lot of the analogies on that. We really just like to present it again in our onboarding to say, the opportunity we've got and that you have in terms of helping people with their insurance and building a book of business, you've got that opportunity to meet all 5 of these things with it. So really just always, taking that in, feeling good about that. Again, we kind of talk, so you've got unlimited income potential here. You can earn as much or as little as, as little or as much as you want, I should say. Depending on how much time you're putting into it. You have no employees. That's nice. Now, I don't know, do you have employees for your business or is it just you?
No, just myself right now.
Just you right now. Okay. Well, I've got 17 full-time employees, and I can tell you, I love them. They're great, but it's a challenge, right? Having employees comes with its own challenge. But, you know, this opportunity, you get to plug in and take advantage, if you will, of having a team without having to pay for that overhead. So very minimal overhead, no employees, but you get to leverage that. Offering a product that people need, not just want, right? That's very big. Your time frame, working remote, opportunity to help others, and opportunity to help build a team. Again, if we just sort of frame what we're doing here and helping people with their home, auto, business insurance, certainly lots of other lines of insurance that fall under your 220, but allows for all those things. So I like to just go over this slide again to make it clear, how do you earn money here? So what does it look like? So, you know, we get paid on commission, obviously. There's really two ways that I talk about in terms of how you can earn income here. On average, Vital, and this is good for you to know, on average, we get about 12% of whatever the premium is for commission. Now, it's going to vary a little bit by carrier and by product line. And again, we've got access to over 50 companies. So you get to plug in right away to, you know, a pretty robust network. On average, it's about 12. To be clear, in your advisor agreement, all this is already in the advisor agreement, we pay 50% new business. So whatever it is, you're going to get 50% first year and then 25% each year and after. So you get that on and on and on. So that's in general kind of commissions. We talk about the idea of sort of 10 families a month. Now, and I don't know where a lot of your leads are going to come from. Would you see most of your leads are going to be more personal in nature, Vital, more like home, auto, family type stuff? Or do you get a lot of business leads, like people that have businesses? Or you get
okay, the majority of my clients will be coming from personal, like business, from homeowners and auto.
Okay, great. So, and really that's what I say, it's our bread and butter, right? I mean, that's what feeds us. That's what keeps the lights on, if you will. To be clear, if you have business owners, you have other clients that need business or commercial policy, you can certainly help with all that. But with regards to the home and auto, we really just try and frame and say, based on Florida averages. So the average Floridian spends about $2,000 a year on their homeowners and about $1,800 per year per car on their auto. So if you help 10 families a month, and assuming a family has 2 cars, right? You know, probably mom, dad, maybe some kids, but assuming there's 2 cars, if you help 10 families a month with their home and 2 cars, just to kind of frame our conversation, you'll make about $41,000 in commission your first year. Okay, that's just 10 families a month. Again, the numbers could be bigger if you have more families, if the premiums are bigger. I'm just trying to give some averages. Now, you're down in South Florida. We had talked. You're down kind of in that West Palm area. Is that right? Or where are you from?
West Palm, yep, Palm Beach.
Yeah. And honestly, if anything, it's even, I don't want to say better down there, but the premiums are even more expensive down there. I mean, your average premiums down there on home are probably closer to, I'd say maybe $3,500 to $4,000 even. It can be very expensive down there. So again, everything we do is a function of premium. I just like to put that in there to sort of explain, well, how do the commissions work? What does it look like? Year 2, and this is where the renewals come in. Year 2, if we go through and say, well, we help 10 families that first year, each month, month in, month out. Year 2, you would have about $19,000 of renewal commission. So that means when those clients pay again, you get paid again, right? You get your renewal commission, and you'd have about $19,000. And again, that's assuming all very, you know, average, realistic numbers. This is not pie in the sky. This is not, you know, we just try to be very realistic with the numbers. And obviously, it's all going to be based on your production, how much you do. If you were to dump in and have, you know, that new business level of 10 families a month with their home and 2 cars, by year 2, now you're at about $60,000 in income, because you'd have $41,000 of first year commission plus $19,000 of renewal commission. And again, that continues to just grow and stack. I will highlight, especially if, you know, you're legal and you know, immigration services, maybe a little bit of a numbers guy. If you are on our website, this is kind of our recruiting website, Vital, this insurancesidehustling.com. There's a compensation calculator in there, and I'll put this in the chat for you right now. And you can go to that at any point, and it's a great place to just kind of work through and say, okay, if I do this, I'm going to get that, right? So it's just kind of a spot for you to sort of play around and really, and I put the assumptions down here, but to say, okay, if I do so much premium per month in the first year, for example, let's say, and that 10 families a month, that works out to about 55,000 in premium per month. It's going to start spitting out, or ballpark, maybe it's a little bit more. It's going to start spitting out all of your numbers here, right? So it'll tell you what your new business commission is. It will then start to show you renewal commissions. And again, you can start to say, okay, well, if the next year I did 60,000 a month, maybe after that I was doing 70,000 a month. Maybe in year 4 I wasn't doing as much. I was doing 25,000 a month, and then in year 5 I was back doing, say, 50,000 a month. This is an opportunity for you to just sort of see how the commissions work and how things can stack, right? Yeah. Each year you would have new business commission, you get paid that 50%, and then renewal commissions, you get that 25, and you can start to see how things can stack. So that's what it is. And again, there's a disclaimer. Look, this is just for illustration purposes, etc. But so I put that in the group chat for you too. So if you want to take a look at that later, you can. The other thing too, in terms of the opportunity here, if you want to build a team, you can do that. You don't have to build a team. Some people really like that, some don't. Really all we're saying there is, look, if you help bring anyone on and they're on your team, we pay commission override. We pay 15% new business and then 5% renewal for life. So what does that mean? Well, let's say you got a friend or a neighbor and you're like, man, they're looking for some extra income. This would be perfect. They're a good person. They're well-spoken. They're very, they've got a large network, whatever. And they come on board. They would still make their 50%. So it doesn't get taken out of theirs. They would still make their 50%. And then we would pay you 15% commission in that first year, with the idea that there would be some help you would be giving them, helping them with things you've learned, helping them with proposals, helping them with marketing, really just being an asset, kind of that big brother to them a little bit, kind of just like I'm doing with you right now. And then 5% each year and following, right? So, and all we're saying there is, look, just like I'm doing with you, frankly, I'm saying, hey, come on board. You're going to earn income, have that opportunity, and then I'll earn a little bit of income on top of that. Imagine if you had 5 to 10 people on your team. Again, you could see how that could grow pretty fast. And this is not multi-level marketing. It's not, A to B, B to C, C to D, but it's clearly A to B. You can recruit as many on your team as you want, like your direct team as you want. So any questions on that so far?
No,
okay.
I'm following along. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we talked kind of power compounding commissions. We already kind of went through that just in terms of how the commissions stack each year as you continue to grow a book. Again, just high level on us as we're still kind of getting to know one another. I started, like I said, in 2006, started scratch, didn't buy a book, didn't inherit a book, came from, very kind of middle class background, if you will, and know what it's like to start. Today we're close to about 5,000 policyholders, do about 12 million in premium, not revenue, but 12 million in premium. We've got 18 on our team full time. We've got about 50 so far that are somewhere along what I kind of call the journey, that are doing this either, as a side hustle, part-time, full-time at some level. We've been named one of the best agencies in the country by Reagan Consulting, so that puts us in the top 1%. We've won awards here locally, and we've got almost 200. Actually, I think we're over 200 5-star Google reviews right now. And I believe the best is yet to come. And again, I don't say any of that arrogantly. I'm a Christian man. My faith's important to me. You don't have to be a Christian to work here, but I do believe everything I do someday will be a reflection in front of God. So I say glory to God to anything good that's happened to us. What I do want you to know is this is the agency and team you're plugging into. So my goal in sharing some of this with you is hopefully that it lends credibility to you and then your clients, right? Because you're brand new. You've got a lot certainly on the insurance side to learn, but you're plugging into a bigger organization and team. So, Napoleon Hill, I'm a big fan, and this will kind of segue us into the next part of the meeting. We'll talk about some goals and some other things. But Napoleon Hill wrote a very famous book called Think and Grow Rich. He wrote this book. Have you ever heard of that, Vital, Think and Grow Rich?
No, I've not.
Great book. So here's the kind of quick story. So Napoleon Hill, this was in the early 1900s. He basically was a reporter, and he started saying, well, I want to write a book on how people become wealthy. What do people do to become healthy, wealthy, and prosperous? And at the time, you had people like, depending on, history and different things, you had people like Henry Ford, founder of Ford Motor Cars, that was still alive, J.P. Morgan, Chase Bank, still alive, Thomas Edison, inventor of the light bulb, John Rockefeller, wealthiest man that ever lived at one point. All those men were still alive. And he interviewed them all. And one of the things he found was some common things that they all had in common. And one of the biggest was goals and goal planning. And so we're going to do some specific goal planning with you. And so really what this looks like in his kind of step for financial success is you got to have a goal, step 1. Step 2, you got to have a specific time frame to achieve that goal. Step 3, you got to write it down. Step 4, you got to develop a plan to achieve that goal. Step 5, you got to think about the price you're willing to pay to hit that goal. And then step 6, you got to think about that goal every day. And so again, we're very driven here from kind of a work on yourself, grow and help. The more you can do from a professional development standpoint, you will see that in your probably overall quality of life and certainly in your paycheck. So really big on goal planning. We're going to share some info with you on that in a second. So that's just kind of a little bit of our overview. Again, we try and do a lot of stuff for professional development, help our team get better. So with that being said, I'm going to jump in here to the SMART goals. And so we just talked that Napoleon Hill, again, was this kind of very famous writer. If you look that book up, by the way, Vital, it's still one of the best-selling books of all time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna Napoleon Hill.
Cool. Yeah, and it's got over 17,000 reviews on Amazon. The other thing I tell people, and I really like, and I really need to add it into. Let me even do that right now, real quick. I really need to even add it into the onboarding. So I subscribe to his thought of the day, and this is free. So if you just go like Napoleon Hill thought of the day, and it's basically, it's just kind of a quick little thought that he sends you each day. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. You normally get a lot of good stuff out of it. Again, all motivational kind of positive stuff. So would definitely recommend, if you don't have anything like that you're currently doing or getting or receiving, I would probably look to sign up for that. So I'll put that in the chat as well. So you've got that, in there.
Nice.
Definitely good stuff. So, in terms of SMART goals, and just kind of goal planning at any level, high level, and by the way, Vital, I am recording the meeting, so just so you know that, and I will send you a copy of it at the end. Okay. So you'll also, and again, that's all part of you paying for this, and kind of again like working with a personal trainer almost. But I would encourage you to go back and probably listen to some of this. It will probably help at some point as well. But tell me a little bit about goals. Have you ever done any goal planning in the past? Any specific goal planning?
Yes. For example, like when I started my business, I remember when I first started my business, I said, okay, for the first year, I remember that I did roughly I did like, because I did tax service, and the first year I think I did about 15 people. So when I first opened my office, I did 15. So I said, okay. So if I did
your first month, you helped 15 people, or your first year?
No, yeah. When I first opened, when I first opened the business, the main focus was on immigration services. It was not. I was not doing taxes at that time. So,
okay.
So when I said, okay, I'm gonna, because I have people ask me for this service, I said I'm gonna add this service on it. And then when I add that other piece of service on it, so the first year that I added, I remember that I did around 15 people that I have. I said, okay, what can I do to double this number next year? And I set a goal. I said, okay, I set a goal. I said, okay, my goal is to double this number my next year. So my next year, and then what I did, I advertised, I talked to friends, I talked to people that I help, and then I ask them to how they satisfied with my service. If they're satisfied with my service, I would appreciate if they can send me one person in my way that I can help too, so that they can see the difference for themselves. And then that pretty much came out to work pretty well. So I had I wanted to double the number. So not only did I double the number, I exceeded that expectation that first year. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. That's why things is keep going well for me ever since that I've been doing this type of business. And that's why, because one of the reasons that I said let me add this insurance business, because I have so many of these people that are asking me for these services. Say, Vital, I need homeowners insurance for my house. I need a car insurance, things like that.
Right.
And when I have them, I have no choice because I didn't have a license. I had to refer them to somebody else to help them out. But I said, okay, since if they come here, if I can help them, let me add this other layer of business in my business practice, so I can help these people.
That's awesome, man. That's great stuff. And I love to hear that. And again, it shows a lot of persistence and work ethic. So here's what, and I'll just share with you kind of like my story with goals and some of this stuff. So I'm 40. I just turned 40. How old are you, Vital?
38.
38. That's right. We talked. So we're so kind of similar age. But anyway, so you know, when I was in my mid-20s, I've been in the business 18 years. I feel like I'm an old dog, bro. I mean, I'm young and I'm young at heart, but I've been doing this a long time. So anyway, my first job, I was kind of out of college. I was working for a financial advisor, a real successful guy, great guy I look up to, mentor, actually man who shared his faith with me. But he was real big in all this stuff, like, you know, professional development, success principles, goals, SMART goals, all this stuff. And I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. You know, I was kind of rolling my eyes like, yeah, you know, I went through college. I did this. I don't want to do it. You know, I'm good. And I always just share that honestly, because I know a lot of people when I go through this, and it sounds like you've already done some of this, which is great. Everyone's got different views, backgrounds, etc. What I'll tell you is this, is that there came a point to me, and it was probably about 10 years ago. It was probably about 3 years in the business, and it clicked, right? And I really started taking it seriously. And here's what I found out. Less than 3% of all Americans have written goals. Okay, now we go back to this guy, this Napoleon Hill dude, right? Who's like, hey, you know, what's the secret to getting healthy, wealthy, and prosperous? And what are some of those keys? And a lot of it surrounded goals, right? So my goal, my no pun intended, my goal with this is to teach you some of this. And then again, kind of like your trainer, if you will, I'm going to send you an email follow-up. I'm going to put all this stuff in here. If you don't do it, it's okay. We're still a friend. You can still work with me. I don't have the time to micromanage it. I'm just going to encourage you and say, listen, like, here's the info. I'd recommend it. I know it's made a huge impact on my life and the lives of lots of other people. And I know it'll help you if you spend a little time on it. So this SMART goals, here's what this stands for, Vital. So SMART goals is an acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. So that says that anytime I'm setting a goal, it really's got to be pretty, you know, focused on each of these boxes. So specific, detailed, and descriptive, measurable, we can quantify the amount, right? Achievable, is it realistic? I need to get better at my writing there. Achievable has got an I in front of it. Relevant, how's it going to improve me? And then T is time sensitive. So here's one of the things I'll share that you always hear kind of around the beginning of the year. So you hear at the beginning of the year, people, it's like, I want to lose weight, right? You probably heard that before. You look like you're in pretty good shape, like myself. You probably don't need to lose a lot of weight, but you probably hear that, you know, people that are, I want to lose weight. So if I think about that as it goes through this little benchmark, that's not a SMART goal. Now, if somebody says, I want to lose 7 pounds by August 1st, that would be a SMART goal, right? It's real specific, detailed, and descriptive. I can measure it, 7 pounds. Is it realistic? Yes, because it's not somebody saying I want to lose 70 pounds in, you know, a month. Relevant, and again, that's where it's different for each person, but a lot of people, obviously, they want to get better shape. And then T, time sensitive. So when does it start? When does it finish? So my hope for you is that you'll do at least 3 to 5 business SMART goals. And again, specifically what you'd be doing with us. So that could be how much premium you want to write, how many prospects you want to contact a day, how many policies you want to write, any networking activities or marketing activities you want to do. You can really define it however you want, okay? And then I would also, again, feel free to weave in for your legal and immigration business as well. The other thing I would share with you too is, you know, in terms of the business side, that's really what we're focusing on here. But I would also do them personally. Because here's what I know, and I'm saying this from experience, and again, all this stuff that I read and listened to and all these different motivational things. The stronger you can become outside of your office, the stronger you'll be inside of your office. And I'm not just talking about how much weight you can lift, right? I'm talking about your relationship with your girlfriend, any family, friends, your finances, your fitness, your faith. There's lots of ways to look at that. But putting some personal goals out there is a really good idea as well. And again, hear me, you don't have to share your personal goals with me. I would definitely encourage you at least do the business goals, share those with me. If you want to share the personal goals, that's certainly fine too. This has been one of the most straightforward ways to do goals I've ever seen. And I've done lots of different things. What I like about this, it's just a simple Excel spreadsheet, right? And it's pretty easy to fill out. And just put mine up here real quick, just so you kind of get an idea. And again, we're not saying it has to be, you're not doing this for a test, man. This is for you in terms of growing and getting better. So on mine here, I wanted to pay down some debt. I wanted to hire new people. I wanted to produce so much business. I want to write another book, shoot a video, etc. Right? And each one of these I've got very much broken down. When I'm going to start, when I'm going to finish. Now, some of them are going to keep going on, right? But some of them were real specific dates. And then personal goals, I've got, family devotions, exercise, my personal Bible study time, vacation, etc. So I've just kind of laid all these things out, right? And then what I do, and again, I recommend this because if we go back to this Napoleon Hill, this best-selling author, right? This guy is actually, I'm going to try and pull it up on my other screen here, literally over 17,000 Amazon reviews. He's pretty much said here, you know what? Okay, you got to have the goal, write it down, think about what you're going to do, and then think about that goal every day. So here's where I'm going with that. I have the goals that, for me, they sit in a clear sleeve, like one of these little, you ever see these like sheet protector dealies? These kind of guys, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. I mean, you can do it however you want, but basically, I've got mine that sit in a drawer right in my nightstand. And it's something that I can pretty much see every day. Now, I'm not sitting there all day, every day, just, thinking about, spending a ton of time on it. But if I can just look at it quick even, it starts to plant that seed in my mind of what I want to do. So if one of your goals and you say, you know what, I want to make $50,000 next year doing insurance with Doug and strategic, great. Put it down, start thinking about it. And there's really power that occurs with that. Really, it's pretty amazing. So definitely, again, highly recommend doing that. I am going to pull over here just so you can kind of see, all this that I go on and on about Napoleon Hill. So here's Think and Grow Rich. You can see I've got 18,000 five-star reviews, which is pretty amazing. Not too many things that you can say that have that level of that. So any questions on goals, goal planning, anything on that so far? Pretty straightforward.
I think that's a very good thing that you mentioned, because anything that you're doing in life, if you do not have any specific goals, it's like that you start, you're running, you don't know where you're gonna end. You have to have
Exactly.
a goal, so you want to reach. So that will give you the motivation to come to work because you have something that you need to achieve. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good,
man.
Yeah. I like
well, that's good. Again, we try and pack a lot of value, and a lot of the things I share, I always tell people is, I'm just like one blind man to another, just passing on, just trying to pass on good info to you. So yes, so we'll send you that at the end. We definitely recommend on that. So want to go and talk a little bit about our core values here. So, and again, we're just still getting to know one another. This is something we'll send to you at the end. This is something I do ask to get signed back. And really what I try and do here, Vital, I just want you to get to know me a little bit more, what we're about here. And then really what I want you to be thinking about and how you're sort of holding yourself to, because one of the things as we're doing this is we're bringing in a lot of people from all over, which is great. I'm a big people person. I love people, love giving people opportunities. I've worked really hard to build what I have, and just want to be really mindful as we grow that I continue to teach and impart some of the things that we've done to become successful, and we continue to have a heart to serve people in the right way. So here's where I'm going with that. We'll spend maybe 5 minutes on this, but basically there's 3 core values that we have here at our agency at Strategic Insurance. excellence, integrity, and service, right? And this is kind of like the golden rule type principles. Again, depending if you've ever heard it in the Bible, you know, it talks about treating other people as you want to be treated. It was a lesson Jesus taught, right? So some of this stuff goes back 2,000 years, man, and you can hear it in all different ways and phrases, etc. And so we've just tried to found our agency and really work with our team on these three areas to say, look, if you're representing us, these are three things that we want you to do and keep in mind. And frankly, here's what I tell you, look, these are just good principles in general. You have a separate business you're running. I would encourage, and you seem like a man of integrity, Vital, that you would be doing these same things. So anyway, we talk about excellence, give your best in all situations. We talk about, and we just try and unpack some of this a little bit. So we talk about learning from your mistakes, being positive, working hard, striving to learn more, right? In terms of excellence. And then one big thing, and I just always tell you, is ask questions when you don't know the answer. We try and pack a lot of value into our model and what we're doing and giving you a lot of value for your monthly agency support fee. And, you know, we're here. I'd rather you check in and say, hey, you know, I've kind of got this, or I'm working on a guy's auto insurance and I don't know, as opposed to just putting out there saying something that winds up being wrong and you have to backtrack and do some extra work with the client on. So second one is integrity. And I kind of have this in the middle as like our core, right? So this is kind of our core. And we just say, do the right thing always. You know, integrity is defined in the dictionary as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. So, you know, it's just important. We're in a day and age where it's easy for people to kind of pull all kinds of different things, and just want to encourage you to be honest when you're dealing with your clients, be honest when you're dealing with the team, etc. And then one thing, we use DocuSign. It's an electronic signature, which is very easy to have your client sign. Have you ever used DocuSign before? Well, you used it with us, signing our agreement.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so most people are getting familiar with it now. Well, I also want to just say, because some people don't always know, if you even have a client that says, hey, you know, I can't get to my computer, just sign for me. We have a team to send your documents out. So this doesn't come up a lot, but there'll just never be a time to sign a client's document. They always sign their own stuff. And then just also being wise and honorable and handling clients' information, their personal information, their checks, their credit card info, etc. Then the third one is this service. So again, we kind of said at the beginning, treating other people as they want to be treated. So we encourage you on things like communicate with your clients according to their desired preference. So we'll talk to you about fact finders and some of the other things we do to get info. But you know, you always want to just ask, what's the best way to communicate with you? Is it email? Is it phone? Is it text? Some people are different. That's a great thing to just ask people. Providing options for clients, finding them the best options, educating them. And sometimes that means telling them things that they may not want to hear. You making recommendations because it's truly in their best interest, even if it may be something they don't necessarily want to hear. Now, if they don't want to do it, that's fine, but your goal is just to try and educate the client. Then the last one, really just to highlight here, Vital, and this is a really good one again for just kind of relationship building, customer service, sales. And this is an acronym, and this is LEAR. It's LEAR. And so here's what this stands for. It's listen, empathize, ask, and resolve. And so really that says, frankly, you can use this in any situation, right? It doesn't matter if you're dealing with your girlfriend. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with your mom. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with your clients. There's a problem or a challenge or something's confusing. You listen, you empathize, you ask, and then you resolve or problem solve. It's just a great way to kind of go through and think through how you handle things. So any questions on that? Just our kind of quick overview, our core values, what we shoot for here.
Hey, I think I love it. I think I share many of these things that you guys stand for. That is your core value, and then that's what I stand for anyway. Yep.
That's wonderful, man. That's great. I'm glad to hear that, Vital. That's good. Awesome. All right, so we're flying right along here. If we kind of look at our little agenda, again, we kind of did our welcome and overview. We kind of talked about our 3M focus, talked a little bit about how you make money here, how our commissions work. We just went through SMART goals, talked about the importance of goals, goal planning, a commitment to excellence. We just went through and really talked through our core values. So now we're really going to spend probably the last part of the meeting, or the next, let's call it 30, 45 minutes on marketing. And so I'm going to pull up here, Vital. There's a couple of things I like to go over with people. So one of them is this life cycle marketing plan. And again, you're going to get all this at the end. But here's why I like this. Frankly, this is what I like right here. So this is done by a company called Infusionsoft. They're a digital marketing company. It's not specific to insurance, by the way. So it's really can apply to pretty much anything, but they're a digital marketing company. And if you think about this, here's what I like about it. It's simple. And you're a good example because you've got a business right now. You've got your bookkeeping and kind of tax and immigration services, all the things you're doing. And there's a lot of analogies with insurance here. But any type of business where you're trying to attract clients and then keep them long-term, where there can be a recurring revenue model, you need to do three things. You need to be able to attract the client or prospect. You need to be able to convert or make a sale to that client. And then the third thing is you need to be able to wow that client or keep them happy so that they continue to engage with you as a paying client. Would you agree with those three things just at a very high level?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. So that's really what this document goes through. And again, this is a long document. It's 33 pages. Don't worry, we're not going through all 33 pages. We're only going to go through a few parts of it. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give it to you at the end. The more time you spend on this and thinking through marketing and prospecting, the better off you're going to be, right? Okay. Marketing is truly what drives business. And when I say marketing, yeah, we're just talking, you got to kind of start with that large pool of trying to get people interested, and then through there, they're going to sort. Some are going to say yes, some are going to say no, some are going to say not now, right? If we think through it. For what it's worth, and again, as we talk through the model and what we do here, most of this part, the wow is taken care of for you. So the wow is the back end. All of your clients, they're going to get from us. We do anywhere from 18 to 22 touch points a year, Vital. I'll pull this up real quick. But we do all sorts of proactive marketing for our clients. That's everything from like we're getting ready to send an email out for Memorial Day to we do a call around their renewal. We send them a postcard around their renewal. They get a birthday call from us. So it's a combination of email, some phone calls, and some text messages, okay, in terms of how we communicate. So again, right there, you're plugging into that wow. The sell part also, at some level, we're really helping you with. We've got a service team here to help you onboard new clients, take the paperwork off you, make it as easy as possible, and also service those clients. Also handle, 3 months from now or 6 months from now, a client calls and says, I've got a question, I've got a bill, I've got a claim, I need to make a change, whatever it may be. Our service team is here to handle that, not you, okay? The attract part is really the biggest part, and that's the part you control the most, and that's where you can earn the most and add the most value. And again, that's what I kind of call that tip of the spear, if you will, in terms of starting your marketing. So what we're going to kind of jump into now, that's just high level. Like I said, I'm going to give this to you at the end. The more time you spend on it, it's going to help you. And what I like about this, Vital, it breaks everything down, and then it gives you just areas to fill in, right? It gives you items that you can kind of fill in. So really what I want to talk about here, just high level, is your target client, okay? So this is a page, and this page, by the way, summarizes a lot of the few pages above that. But here's what I want us to think about right now. And when we think about our target client, we talk two things. We talk about the demographics, and that's kind of what the characteristics are. What does this market look like? And then the psychographics is sort of what motivates them to take action. So with that being said, tell me a little bit right now in your business, what does your ideal client look like as we would run them through this in terms of age, gender, are they married, do they have kids, income, etc.? What would that look like?
Mainly family based.
Okay.
Yeah, family based, and then also I have like a lot of family based, and also friends, people that referred people to the office.
Okay.
But it's pretty, and then it's a very, I can say it's a very it's pretty much, they're not they're like middle age. It's not like they're really old. Sure. They're really, so yeah, pretty much old age clients. Yeah. Middle age.
Okay. Okay, good. So, and here's where we're going with it is, again, just trying to think through of what your ideal client looks like. And here, I'll share with you mine. Okay. And again, this is sometimes people haven't thought about this. And again, it's just not trying to be like a gotcha or anything, but just as you kind of think through your target client, here's what I want you to think about. If you look at the business and how long you started, what year in business? You said 06, 08?
2014.
2014. Okay, so you've been in business 6 years. That's right. I knew I had that 6 in my mind. So if we look in 6 years, and let's be honest, you probably have had some clients that were really good, nice, you liked working with, and other clients that were a pain. That's life, right?
Yeah, yes.
But if you do it enough with business, you start to see some patterns. And then you can really start to say, wow, here's my ideal clients, right? Here's the people I really want to work with.
Okay.
And the whole point of me planting this seed right now for you is so that you can sort of reverse engineer that and think through a little bit, who are the clients that I really like to work with and how do I find more of them, right? Mm-hmm. So if I were to give you mine, here's what I would say. My ideal client is a small business owner that lives in the greater Tampa Bay area. Their age is probably, let's say, 40 to 65. Could be male, could be female. They're probably married. They probably have kids. They probably make 6 figures plus, let's say 100,000 and higher. Education, don't care. They could have education or not. Again, region's probably greater Tampa Bay. Hobbies are things like could be family, travel, church. And again, some of this crosses over into values a little bit. And they value working with a trusted advisor that can help them, right? So that gets pretty darn specific. Now, I'm not telling you yours is going to look exactly like that. What I'm going to encourage you to do is you kind of think through, okay, how am I going to get going here? And we're going to talk about more ideas on that, but really spending a little bit of time on what does my ideal client look like, right? And again, you may not know that from insurance. I get that right now. You're just starting off with that. But you've got some probably good background on what your a really good ideal client looks like for your immigration and bookkeeping practice, right? And probably, here's my guess, if they are a good client in that area, they would probably also be a good client for insurance, right? The other thing to think about is the more responsibility that someone has, normally the more insurance they need, frankly. So if you heard why I set up business owner, and a lot of times when I do this exercise, I'll even say a business owner with 10 or more employees that owns a building here in the Tampa Bay area. Now I'm even shrinking that pool a little bit more. But if I've got a business owner, they've got 10 employees, they have to have certain types of insurance. They have to have workers' comp, they have a building, they have to insure that building. They've just got more areas of responsibility, more things to insure, right? So this is kind of a good little exercise right there on your ideal client. Kind of moving down here, what I want to share with you now a little bit are some things that you can share with your clients in terms of what do you do that's different? What do you do that's going to add value to them? And there's a page here, and I'm looking for that here. So right here, and as you kind of would work through this, it says, what would attract them to my products or services, right? And so here, I just want to share a little bit more about some of the things that we do here proactively for our clients. Remember, your clients are our clients. Everything rolls up into the agency here. And on our main website, which is getstrategicins.com, and again, I'll put that in the chat right now too, but that getstrategicins.com, that's our main website, Tom.
Okay.
And on there, I'll just put main website. On there, we've got one of the first tabs is this right here, is the YSIS, short for Strategic Insurance Services. And again, here's what I would encourage you to think too. I'm going to share a lot about this for the insurance side. You would want to think through some of these things for your immigration practice. And so when I developed this, one of the things I tried to say is, look, there's a lot of insurance agencies out there. There's a lot of insurance companies out there. And we know this. Price is always the most important thing. I get that. I totally understand that. We take the air out of the balloon when we talk to our clients. We say, listen, I know price is the most important thing. And then we want to understand, well, other than price, what else is important? And a lot of times we're able to save clients money, and we're very competitive, and we've got all the major markets, on and on and on. But what I'm also trying to do is saying, what are things that we're doing that are a benefit for our client that's going to tie our client to us? Okay. That's part of why we created this Y Strategic Insurance. So here's a few of the things we do. These are tangible things you can share with your clients as you're talking about what you do, how you can help them, and how what your agency that you're plugged in with is going to add value to them. So one of the things we do is we do an annual protection review. This is big, Tom. Most agencies don't do this. And basically what this says is each year, we're going to contact the clients proactively before their renewal, and we want to touch base with them. We're going to look at the market, make sure they're still getting the best rate that's available. And we also want to touch in and see has anything changed or need to be updated, right? And so we kind of just joke and saying we want to be your insurance quarterback. And we want you as a client, not just today, but 10, 20, 30 years from now. And you start planting seeds like that at the beginning with your clients, Vital, that's very powerful. Because again, when we talked originally about how the model works, well, one of the biggest parts of the model is that your business continues to grow and stack or compound as clients stay with you and continue to evolve. So this is one of the things that we do there. We've got Leanne Dugan as my personal lines team leader. She does most of these meetings. We've got a whole system in place of communication that goes out proactively to the client. Again, combinations of emails, postcards, and text messages. We do that each year. Not every client takes us up on that. That's fine. We understand that. But what we want is they know that we're being proactive and not reactive. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Cutting edge technology. So we've invested a lot in technology. We use DocuSign for everything. So clients never have to print, fax, anything. They can sign everything electronically. Our commercial clients, they've got access to easy COI. They can do certificates on demand. People can text our agency right to our main number. So you can literally text into our main number. We've got live chat on our website. I'll have to find out why our live chat's not on right now. And then one of the other big things we have is an online policy center. And so basically that says we've got this policy center right here where clients can go right to their website, put in their email address, and pull up all of their policies that they have with us. So again, we've tried to do a lot from a technology standpoint to make it easy for them to contact us, easy for them to do business with us in a variety of ways. They can also, again, text with the agency. They can get policy service directly through texting. So a lot of things that we try and do there. That's the second thing. Then the third thing is our claims process. So we've got a very dedicated claims process. And basically, here's what this is saying. Look, the reality is most agencies, if you call and you say, hey, I got into an auto accident, agency's going to say, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay? I'm okay. Okay, here's the number to Progressive. Good luck. That's the reality. That's what most agencies do. We try to take a very different approach, Vital. And what we do is client has a claim. We handle the claim either right here, filing it, or third party transferring when we're on the phone with them. And then we follow up with them every 5 to 7 days to check status and get involved where we need to if things aren't going well. And I still even do some of this. You know, I've got a commercial client right now that's having kind of a trouble with a claim a little bit. I'm on it. I'm involved. I'm following up. I'm emailing. I'm calling, etc. So we just want our clients to know that when something happens, we're there to help. That's really big.
You're there for them. Yep.
We're there for them. That's big, man. I say you got to pay the promise. And then the last one is one-stop shop. So we handle all lines of insurance. That means we do everything from home, commercial, auto, life, and health.
Yeah,
we represent.
I see.
Yeah, and we represent over 75 companies, right? So we're independent. We're truly looking to maximize their protection and minimize their costs. So those are 4 specific things you can share. Again, it's right on our website. You can save that. You can push that out to clients. You can post that on Facebook. You can do lots of things with that. But those are some specific things in terms of what we're doing to add value, and that's a little bit different, okay? Any questions on that?
No, that's
all right, man. We're flying along. We're going to go into our fast start action plan here. And so here's our fast start action plan, Vital. Here's where we're going to start to share some specific marketing ideas in terms of how you're going to be able to get insurance business, okay? A couple of the other things that we do at this point too, I want to let you know we have a bonus available to you in that first month where you can earn an additional $500. I call it my fast start bonus. And here's what we say. Look, if you do 50 proposals, they've got to be documented in our system, and you write 5 policies in the first 30 days, I give you a $500 bonus. That's on top of your commissions, on top of everything else. Now, if you run 50 proposals, you're going to stumble across 5 policies. I promise you that. Okay, that's like 10% plus commission.
So let me ask you a question. So when you say 50 proposals and 5 policies. So do you have to do both, or if you sell 5 policies, you're good?
Great
Because when you
question.
say 5
Like
proposals,
if you just wrote 5 policies off the bat, no, I'd still want to see the 50 proposals. Here's why.
okay,
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put an incentive out there to encourage a behavior. And the behavior is I want you to get plugged in. I want you to start using this. I want you to start having some success. And what I know is the more you do, the more success you have, the more proposals you do, the more comfortable you'll get with the systems and more likely you will to continue to keep going. And it helps us create momentum. Because here's what's going to happen. I shouldn't say, and I'm not saying it's going to happen with you, but you know, if you do this, you sign up, you come on, you spend all this time, energy, etc., and then you don't do anything, you don't run any proposals, you don't do anything, you're not going to get anywhere. You're eventually just going to fizzle out, right?
yes,
And that's just true with a lot of things in life. So yeah, ultimately the whole goal of that is to get you in the system, running proposals, getting you 5 policies at least, and getting that $500 bonus. And that won't start, by the way, Vital, until you get your logins. And you'll get your logins shortly after the meeting and after probably, I would think, by the end of the week, okay? But it's just a way, again, like I said, to incentivize and kind of help you get off to a good start, have a little bit of fun, put a little extra money in your pocket. So I'd love to see it. I'd love to see you hit that. So here's some ideas to get you rolling. I'm not going to go through all of these. I've got 30 ideas on here. They're either low cost or no cost in terms of how you can get business. One of the best places to start is your own insurance, right? And I tell people, look, start with your own insurance, run your homeowners, run your auto, run whatever you have, and hear me. If it makes sense, switch and get paid on it. If it's like, oh, you know, I'm with Geico right now and it's way less expensive, it's your call on whether you switch. I don't put any pressure on people, but it's a good place to start. And there's no doubt that if you are able to save yourself money or at least be close, you can get paid on your own policies, you can have access to it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a really good place to start. Here's another one. This is this Amazon gift card challenge, and there are some marketing dollars that I afford the agency. And basically what I say is this. And we've got a link right on our website here that you can access. And again, you'll get this document at the end, Vital. And basically we say, hey, paying too much for insurance, looking to save on insurance costs during these unprecedented times, take our $27 Amazon gift card challenge. Fill out the info below, and we will send you a $27 Amazon gift card, either via text or email. Now, here's the one thing with it. You have to be able to get a copy of their insurance because I want you to be able to run apples to apples comparisons. So when I say that, for the client to get the $27 gift card, you have to be able to get their insurance because I want to make sure you get a fair shake at it. You follow me? In other words, if you're talking to a client, they're like, oh yeah, I think I've got Geico, I pay like $300 a month. Well, great. What's your coverage? Well, I think I've got 100, 300. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they only have 10, 20 or 25, 50. Unless you get that deck page, you don't have a way to verify that, right? So this is a great tool right now. And this is a way you can spend our dollars, if you will. Everybody has Amazon. Everybody knows about Amazon. It's easy for us to send it and share. And it's just one more reason for you to be able to talk to people. And that is for both home and auto. So we don't do like 27 for home and 27 for auto, but it's per household, if you will.
Per household, okay.
Yeah. So that's one really good idea. Networking groups. Have you ever heard of any formal networking groups, Vital?
Yes, I have.
You have? Okay. Have you ever done any of them?
I have heard a lot. Not really. I haven't really participated in any of them.
Okay. Well, you may want to check them out. So there's a few that are out there. BNI is probably one of the biggest. They're worldwide. I'm sure there's plenty down in South Florida. I mean, South Florida is a pretty big area. I'm sure there's plenty of networking groups.
BNI.
And here's what these are. These are one person per profession. So the idea is, you know, there's a banker, a realtor, an insurance person, a financial advisor, a plumber, an electrician, on and on and on. I can tell you historically, when I look at my own growth, and I, again, have written lots of policies over the years personally. I was always very involved. This is not like I just bought the agency and, you know, somebody else was doing all this stuff. I've done it, right? Networking has been one of the best areas and best ways we've built the business. There's no doubt. I was in a group for 5 years. I got a ton of business out of it, and I still have clients from that. We have most of our full-time sales team, and there's 6 full-time sales team members are in these full-time networking, or in these networking groups. So I'd really encourage you to check them out. They're very inexpensive overall. You normally can learn a lot, get a lot of value out of it. And so that's a really, really good one. The other one you can do, meetup groups can be good too for real estate. So there's no doubt there's a big tie between what we do and real estate. Every time somebody buys a home or a commercial piece of property, got to have insurance, right? So those can be really, really good. And again, I'm going to kind of hopscotch around here a little bit. We're not going to go over all of them just for sake of time, but any one of these, Vital, you can go pretty deep in and really do well. This Cole X Dates is a good one. This you have included with your $79 a month agency support fee. And here's what this is. So in insurance, and I'll pull this up here for a second. So in insurance, we use a term called X date. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, X date. Probably not.
I heard it from my class, from one of my professors.
Okay, there you go, maybe from your class. So, but that term X date basically refers to when the client's expiration is of their insurance. And so here's what we know. People can switch at any time without penalty for home and auto, traditionally. But a lot of times they'll make their buying decision around their expiration. It's like, oh man, I got my bill in the mail, my rate went up, I've got to do something. So what this software allows us to do is it allows you to go in anywhere in the state of Florida, and I'm literally logging into it right now just to kind of give you a little flavor of it. And they've got some nice little overview videos here and all kinds of stuff. But you basically can go in and say, okay, I want to see people in, what's like a zip code by you down there, Vital? What's your zip code?
33463.
33463. So I want to see people in 33463. I want to make sure that they own a home. And then I want to have all the records I can get. That could be phone, email, mail. Okay. And then it's going to pull that list up for me. Okay. And so you've got a way then to start prospecting on those people with regards of when their insurance is coming up for renewal. It's going to give you names, emails, and cell phone, and it'll even tell you whether it's do not call certified, yes or no. Okay. So now again, hear me, these are not people expecting your call. You'd have to put a little elbow grease in it. You'd have to follow up. They've got some great videos on how to get started with it. But the whole idea is this, is that if you can time this and work on this, and you know people's insurance is coming up in a given time period, you can get some business from that, no doubt. So that's software that's already on there. Login info is right there.
So which one is this one?
This is called Cole X Dates. This is number 7.
Oh, Cole X Dates. So you will be sending me. Okay, I have access to it. I will.
Yeah, I'm going to email you all this at the end. It may be tomorrow, Vital, based on when the video is ready. Sometimes it takes a few hours for your video to get ready. The other thing we talk about is centers of influence. And these are probably some of the things you're already doing a little bit, but we want to think about people that you already know, like realtors, mortgage brokers, financial advisors, attorneys, CPAs, people you already know that could potentially refer you business, okay? Those are great people to reach out to and just say, hey, good news, I'm expanding my business. I've got my insurance license. I'm working with a great agency. We've got a lot of training and support. We've got a great mission and great platform. And I would love for you to think about me the next time you have a client that needs help with their insurance, right?
Yeah, that's a nice pitch. Yep.
Yeah, so doing that right there, you can get a lot of business as well.
Yep.
Networking with captive insurance agents. This is big, Vital. So I started my career at State Farm. I still get referrals to this day from State Farm, 13 years later. And instead of looking at them as a competitor, you can look at them as a partner, and here's why. So if you look up in your area, I'm sure you can find State Farm agents. I'm sure you can find Allstate agents. Those are 2 of the biggest out there. Well, the reality is they're captive. And what that means is they only represent one insurance company, only represent State Farm, only represent Allstate. So you can do some networking with them. And I tell people, look, some of this you would, maybe grab some cookies, some brownies, some fruit, whatever you wanted, some business cards. We'll tell you how to get plugged in and get our business cards. And then go into the office and ask them and network with their service team and say, hey, when you have a client that you can't help, what do you do with that? I would love to be an option for you, right? Because we can meet that need that they may not be able to. A great opportunity right there to do that.
Okay.
Chamber of Commerce can always be good. I've got some word tracks in here on how to ask for referrals. Again, if you get good at this alone, Vital, you can get a lot of business. So here's a word track, and we say a word track is like a script. So we say, let's say you've helped a client. You were able to write their insurance. So you could say something like, hey, I'm looking to grow my business with other great clients like yourself through referrals. Who else can you think of that may be interested in a policy review and taking our Amazon gift card challenge, which we had talked about earlier, that $27 gift card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, etc. If you want to buy leads, you can buy some leads. I don't really recommend it. I think there's a lot of other places to start than buying leads, but there are places out there where you can buy insurance leads all day. You can buy auto, you can buy home, you can buy all sorts of leads. So we've got a link in there in terms of that. Facebook and social media marketing. So this is big. A lot of people are interested in this. One of the easiest ideas I share with you is this, Vital. So on Facebook, if you go to Facebook and you find us, now to be clear, and I'm sure Brianna will connect with you and she'll get you added to our group. So we have our own group that looks like this. It says change brings opportunity. And here is, different things that we're posting. We just got written up as one of the best agencies in the Tampa Bay area. Here's, marketing ideas I'm sharing. We put our trainings on here, just all sorts of things, right? So you can get plugged into that. But aside from that, our actual company page, this is kind of like our little private group page, but our company page is just Strategic Insurance Services. It's got this little picture, the front of my office here. And if you go on here and you start to follow us, which I would recommend, and here's why. I have a marketing company that posts automatically for me to social media. And they post almost every day. And they post a lot of things that aren't just about insurance, right? So they're going to post things like, what does contractors insurance not include for contractors? Here's something about tips for maintaining an older car. So a lot of these are kind of general or personal finance. Some of them are insurance related. My point is this: if you follow us, you'll be able to get these updates. And then if you see something you like, you can repost it yourself. So you start to raise the awareness that you're doing insurance. That's the whole point of it. Does that make sense? Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Real estate and mortgage offices, again, can be a great opportunity. Dropping into realtors and mortgage brokers, visiting them, asking them, hey, who helps your clients right now with insurance? We'd love to be an option for you. That can be a really good one. And then small business owners, again, can be a great source. They need a lot of insurance all over the place. So you can make a list of small business owners. There's trade shows and conventions you can go to. A lot of times there can be home shows, boat shows. And I tell people, I'm not saying for you to go and get a booth and spend that kind of money, but I'm just saying to go yourself and walk around and network. A lot of times there's opportunities there and things like that. Boats and RVs and motorcycles. Again, great opportunity. This can be a great spot. And normally people that need boats and RVs and motorcycles need a lot of other insurance as well. So you can look to go to either clients or people that already have a boat, RV, or motorcycle, or a boat and RV dealership, okay? So all sorts of ideas. I also have here's a link from Insurance Marketing Ideas through Insurance Splash. I got some of these ideas from them, so you can even get plugged into some of their marketing ideas that they share. And then one of the last things I like to share, and as we kind of wrap up the meeting, we'll wrap up in a few minutes here. We're just about an hour and 10 minutes so far, is our memory jogger. And so here's really, if we think, and again, I'm glad to have you on. I hope this has been valuable for you so far. But in about an hour, we went over the agency, the model, how you earn commission. We talked through SMART goals and SMART goal planning. We talked through our core values and our commitment to excellence. We started talking about life cycle marketing and sort of what my ideal client looks like. And then we gave you some info on what we're doing here specifically that you can share with clients that's going to add value to them. And then we just went into our fast start action plan where we shared with you about 30 different ideas to help get you business. Okay. So one of the last places we start, Vital, is our memory jogger. And so have you ever heard of a memory jogger before? Vital?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No, I have not.
Okay, you broke up on me for a second there. So here's what this memory jogger is. And again, this will all be, yeah, I can hear you now. This will all be included in it in the follow-up. But this is a really good piece here, and it kind of explains the memory jogger. These pages really summarize it. What it basically starts to get you to do is it starts to get you to think about people you know. And it's not just all your, you know, your mom, your dad, your family, right? It's, hey, who's my chiropractor? Who's my jeweler? Or who's my kid's, you know, little league coach, or all sorts of different things. This is a very complete list. I doubt you'll find anything like this. So what I'd encourage you is to look at this memory jogger. And then what you're going to do is I've got a spreadsheet here, just this Excel spreadsheet, and you're going to just put your contacts down on the spreadsheet. Now, hear me. These are your contacts. We don't do anything with them. These are for you. The idea is you'd probably put their name, email, and phone number at very least, and then if you wanted to put any notes. And we encourage you to do at least 25. And this is sort of your initial list of people that you can start to approach and offer the Amazon gift card challenge. It's a great segue, right? For their home and auto insurance as an opportunity there. It can also be a spot if you've got some centers of influence or some people you'd want to network with that you can put them down on there. So really we encourage you to get at least 25 on there because that gives you some ammunition to start the process of proposals, right? We said at that start, goal is 50 proposals in 30 days and 5 policies for an extra $500 bonus. So this is a great way to start. Okay. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. The thing is, I've never heard this specific term, memory jogger, but I've heard that strategy before.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, good. The other thing I want to remind you of, we do a commission advance the first 90 days. This is big. And again, my goal is to get you off to a fast start. I want to get you what I call dip. Dip is dollars in your pocket. Now, it's got to be legitimate. You've got to earn that. But my idea is this. When you write a policy, I can pay you the following Friday. So what we do traditionally, Vital, like if you write a policy with Progressive today, we don't get paid on that for about 30 days at the agency level. That's true with all insurance carriers. We run about a 30 to 45 day cycle for our commissions. I, in essence, float that commission for you. And so what we do is we make an advance, an estimate of what we think the commission is going to be. We pay every Friday for the first 90 days. Our cutoff is Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Now, you're going to get some extra next step emails from Joyce and Leanne and other members of my team. You're going to get lots of stuff. So I understand it's, you know, a little drinking from the fire hydrant, but you're going to get lots of support. And Joyce will let you know where to put your info. We have something called our win list of how you track policies we wrote. But basically anything that you write up until Wednesday at 12 o'clock, we can pay you that Friday. So whatever you wrote last week, so if you wrote 10 policies last week and up till this Wednesday at 12 o'clock, I can pay you in advance on 10 policies. You follow me?
Yep,
and we do that every week for the first 90 days. And then after that, you get paid twice a month as commissions come in. Okay.
Okay.
But so that's a great way to get going. So I would really recommend, again, trying to get off to a fast start, get going with that. And then really the last thing I share with you, and like I said, you're going to have a follow-up email from me, but I can't express enough, Vital, is be intentional and take action, right? We're here to help, but you got to take responsibility for your own results, right? I can't do it for you. I can't want it for you. I can teach you. I can show you. I can coach you. I can, you know, give you the pat on the back, the kick in the pants, whatever you want to say, all that. But you got to walk through that door yourself, right? And to me, the best opportunities in life are like that because it's on you and you're not putting it all on some company or some this or some that. And that's what's cool about our business. So we do some motivational training that happens every Monday at 10:30. I encourage you to plug into that.
Okay.
We also do on the first Wednesday of each month, an all-in sales team meeting. And so that's my full-time team, any part-time team members, and that's, again, once a month, and that's the first Wednesday. You'll be getting emails with all those dates for your calendar. Again, I just encourage you to plug into that. And then, I'm going to be one of your contacts. Leanne Dugan is also going to be your personalized trainer. So you'll be getting some other follow-up stuff, and I will certainly be checking in with you just to see how you're doing. YouTube training channel, Vital. And I would encourage you to subscribe to that, because all the videos that we post and trainings that we do, I post there. And I'll send you that link. But on our YouTube channel, I have some videos on that would be really good for you to check out on, how to do homeowners insurance, how to do auto insurance. There's all kinds of things here.
Okay.
There's some sales stuff, all sorts of stuff here. So I'll pull those videos out specifically. Here's, how to do commercial. So I've got all sorts of things here. But yeah, here's one on how to do auto. And then here's how to do home. So those are just great, because what you can do once you get your login, that will really help you kind of get used to the system a little bit. And then you and Leanne can do some training. Once you do a handful of these, once you do 3 or 4 of these, you're going to pick it up pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.